Welcome back to another JERiCK podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
And I'm Felicia.
And yes, it's Chris Mark.
Did you forget your name, bro?
I almost did. Shoot.
He's like, who am I today?
Well, what's up, people?
Happy New Year.
I know. Happy New Year. Literally right after the New Year.
Honestly.
We're recording this January 2nd, so the day after New Year's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you guys do anything?
No.
No?
I went
Neither.
home and slept.
Nice.
Ended the
That's a
year
good way.
awesome. Started the year awesome, so
Yeah.
sleeping.
That's how it should be. You know, we didn't really.
What'd you guys do?
And then I was thinking, why do you have to make it a big deal? You should just try to be your best every day. But we went to my sister's house just really quickly and we danced to Stray Kids into the New Year.
Hey,
We didn't
sounds like a
even-
good time.
We didn't even watch the ball drop. It was fun.
Wait, so you guys were just doing like choreography stuff?
Well, I wouldn't call it choreography. But yeah.
Just vibing to Stray Kids.
My son, I recorded it. My son, though, was doing some choreography.
Oh, yeah?
Me and my sister were just animals.
Like, he actually knows the steps?
Yeah.
Oh,
No way.
Yeah, he like be trying, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, so he is ready for the concert then to be chosen.
He's ready.
Oof.
Yeah.
You know, you should really get him into like into the dancing field too. You know,
know.
like how we were.
We'll see.
If you could do some Stray Kids
I mean,
stuff,
if
that's pretty
he
intense.
likes it, I feel like you should encourage that.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
think so.
absolutely. I kind of ask him, and then he lets me know what he wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, he's still kind of young, too. He's
Yeah,
kind of just
he's
like
gonna wanna do
exploring, so,
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna be a dancer.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it, whether you
Today
like it or
and
not.
tomorrow. Something else.
But yeah, I mean, New Year's. Yeah. I feel like I've kind of stopped celebrating it in a way, like making it, I guess, not.
Making it a big event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, it's just another, it just keeps going, you know?
Yep.
But I don't know if that's a good way of looking at it, but
Why?
I don't know.
I just feel like, and I feel like that's just straying from the stigma or like the expectation that
Yeah.
when the new year comes,
Yeah.
you're turning into a new person.
Yeah,
New
it's
year,
because
no
like
me.
I've heard
Yeah.
some people like, oh, I just want 2024 to be over because it was a bad year. Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, like,
you think it's just gonna
It's gonna
end
be midnight, and you're
at
like
midnight,
done.
and then 2025 is gonna be different. Like, unless you change and you actually make
Yeah.
it happen, like it's not gonna be any different.
Exactly. And I think that's the issue, right? Because people want the immediate change. They're not
Yeah.
thinking about, the month or 2 month or maybe the full 11 months that it's going to take to actually see progression.
Yeah.
And then by the next time, it's already getting ready to be
It's like
2026.
another
And you're
year.
like,
Be
I
like,
hate
oh
this
well.
year. Try next year,
But I mean, I guess at least some people are trying. I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody
Yeah.
who wants to follow the new year and the start, right? Because even some people do their birthdays. That's kind of when I consider my year, because that's
like-
literally a new year of me
Yes,
That's
that's
true.
growing. But I have fell victim to the New Year resolution thing. I think almost every year up until this year. This year I had zero resolution.
So you don't have any
I did
this?
it. And my thought process behind it was, why does yesterday, like, why does the first have to be the day I start
Yeah, like it's
something?
not.
It can be any day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like in your own time. And I think when it comes to setting goals or having aspirations, like, you need to be ready. And when you force yourself, that's when you fail. And I've kind of recognized that is, in order for me to stay motivated, I need to be ready,
Yeah.
like in my heart and my mind. But when I'm not, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose, 50 pounds, or I'm going to save $5,000, and then it doesn't happen, then now you're pissed off, or it's not working out how you want.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess that's kind of a good segue to today's topic then.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Well, how to stay motivated in a long haul.
Yeah, for the long haul.
Yeah.
And so I think the New Year's resolution thing is absolutely perfect. Well, we won't say that, Maybe some
I wouldn't
people,
say bullshit,
yeah, maybe
but
some
it's-
people are really successful at it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it gives people. Well, I think the thought process is like, it's new year, new me. Is like they want to change and
It's
erase
the
their past
intention,
and have
right?
The
Yeah.
reset for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing, though, is going into the reset, whether it's New Year's resolution or whether it's next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is your plan? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I think sometimes people expect that immediate gratification, and it's not like that. Like, bruh, you're not going to lose 10 pounds tomorrow.
Oh hell no.
You know what I mean? Like, that's going to take time and commitment. And I think that's the biggest thing about motivation and understanding the success of it is success takes time.
Yeah, it takes
And-
commitment and consistency too, because
Absolutely.
nothing happens overnight. We only think that it's overnight because we see kind of like the top of the iceberg, right? Like we don't see like all the work behind it.
Yeah.
So it's like because we only basically post the highlights of our lives on social
yeah.
media, and we're like,
The wins. And,
yeah, exactly. Like I lost like 10 pounds, but then you didn't see me. I mean, unless you
Grinding.
post it every day,
Yeah.
then you go to the gym every day and like
Yeah.
you do all that. But
But that's the thing though too, is you may post that you're going to the gym every day, but did you post the struggle?
Yeah.
You know, did you have a hard time getting up to go to the gym, or you know what I mean?
some
And-
people don't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Because when they post stuff on social media, there's like excitement on that thing, right? Because like you seem excited, but before that, maybe even like the moment right before that, you were like, "Fuck this! I don't want to go to the gym," or like stuff like anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
That's why I actually, I don't know. I really want to delete my Instagram just because
Really?
I feel like it's just
Which
a waste
one?
of time.
You have many.
Well, not delete my
might go
account, but delete the app.
Oh.
So keep it
So
active.
then how would
but
you
not-
work on it?
I mean, if I need to like check my
computer.
messages, I would just go on desktop because you can still access it there.
Yeah, but it's horrible. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really do anything
I think
for me at least.
Yeah.
I think it's really dependent because, like, for example, if it's like for me, sometimes it actually gives me motivation because when I'm like down or something, I look into it and then
Right.
I search, and I don't necessarily search or for something in particular, but I look at the things that I've chosen in my feed that helps me, uplifts me, and
Right,
keeps
right.
me moving forward. And I think that's an important thing, is just to have something that's going to keep you motivated in that
Right.
sense. And that, I mean, I respect that you're gonna be, doing your thing, you're deleting your stuff. But for me in particular, is like Instagram has actually helped me motivate me a lot to do things,
Right.
to continue doing things. It's like, for example, when I was working out before, the things that I've chosen for me to look at, and the algorithm that I put my Instagram through,
Right.
it was all workout poses and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
I've chosen everything that has to do with working out, and then when I scroll, I see like, damn, it's like I want to look like this, It's like-
Right.
and then it just like, then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I gotta go, I gotta go.
No comparison.
No comparison, but
That's
still,
like
it's
the
like
thief of happiness.
it is. You're correct, but it actually helped me move.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
motivating.
I mean,
You
I
wanna go.
agree with you. I mean, like social media is a tool. Like
It is.
Yeah.
it could be good or it could be bad, or it's just neutral.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
you-
I just feel like for me, it's starting to become, I guess, a distraction.
That could happen. Yes.
Because sometimes I just scroll for no reason.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I'm like,
And it's
endless
not like my
scrolling.
feed is toxic. It's just you keep scrolling, and then I don't know how like what the total is amount of time I spend there every day. I would say probably like at least like maybe 30 minutes to an hour total.
Right.
yeah.
Like that's a lot. Like if you really think about it, like
Yeah.
that's 1 hour
Like,
of your
yeah,
day.
a day that an hour that you could
Yeah.
do something else.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, since we're on the topic of resolutions and essentially like setting a goal and trying to be motivated for
Yeah.
long term. So have you guys done New Year's resolutions before? Like have
have.
you ever been like, oh, on
Oh, yeah,
January I'm
for
going to
sure.
start this?
Um,
So what was it? And then how well did you do?
oh, I think that I saw. I think. I don't know what year it was. Maybe 2017. That's when I started going to the gym. I think.
Oh, nice.
And then I lost 28 pounds.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, in like 3 months.
Okay.
But
So then what happened after the 3 months? Did you lose motivation?
I think it was like a short-term goal because I was going to the Philippines and then I was like, I need to lose
I
weight before I
see.
go there.
Right.
And then after I got back, it was just kind of like on and off in the gym. Like I guess I just lost steam.
Yeah. So you lost motivation.
I guess, yeah, you could say I lost motivation.
Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes that could hurt you in the sense of you have a goal to get to something. So it's almost like your brain. It's like, oh,
it's like a short-term goal. Yeah.
Like I did it. And so now I don't have to do it. But I think we just have to be conscious of the things that we are considering goals and see if it's something that should be sustainable.
Yeah.
Like health. Like you
and
don't have to work out every day.
I mean,
but
it
it's like, how
depends
do
on
you
your
be-
goal too, right?
Yeah.
Like there are short-term goals and then there's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
And for me, it was definitely a short-term where I was just like, I have this deadline and then I need to hit a certain amount
Right.
by that time. And I did it. And then after that, I was just like, move on with my life, I guess.
And honestly, regardless of how long it was, it's still 3 months. And
Yeah.
you still stuck with it. You know, so what do you think kept you consistent? Right, because that's part of the long haul too. Regardless of the time frame, is
What's a
consistency.
What's a long haul? Is that? Are we talking about like
a
month? Like what's the number? Or is there?
I'm sure people will have their opinions on it, and I
Yeah.
don't think it should be a number, right? Because a long time is going to be different for somebody else.
Yeah.
Especially like, for instance, me. Sometimes I struggle with being like, oh, I'm going to work out 3 days this week, and then I do 2 days, and I don't work out again for a month. So if I do it for 2 weeks, it's like, dang, I'm doing it.
Yeah. I guess it's subjective.
You know, I think maybe more than a week, but again, I think tying a number to it is also unfair because now you're going to think that you have to do that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I think you should set a timeline, which we talked about last time is like the SMART goals is having a time bound goal.
Yeah. I think you set that, like you said, you set that time, right? Like, but then you have to commit to that. Like if you say 1 week, like for some people, 1 week is a long time. Some people
Yeah.
it's like nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
you
so
do
it's
it
like,
easy.
so when you do say 1 week, then that means you actually
Yeah,
have to do
that's
that
your
1 week.
commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're saying because like you're like, because I used to be like that too. And
Yeah.
I can be like that sometimes where I just like, I don't want to overly push myself because that's also very toxic.
Right.
But then, like, what's the balance there of like, are you making an excuse for yourself,
Right.
or are you like really need to like take a break because you need to take a break? You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's multiple aspects to motivation because it's almost like motivation has many lessons within it.
Yes.
So for instance, you know, you mentioned, well, if you commit to something or you only do it for a short period or you commit to something and you break it,
Yeah.
you know, what does that mean? Are you selling yourself short? But I think there's also a lot of opportunity for growth, even if you try the
Yeah.
motivation for long haul, because it shapes you, because it'll help you help you understand yourself a little bit better, right? You kind of practice the patience and the struggles and the obstacles and how you overcome it. And so I think if you see motivation as other ways other than just trying to stick something out, you
Yeah.
can still benefit from it in
Yeah.
some capacity.
Yeah. Because it teaches you like mental toughness.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Because I think like sometimes
Yes. Discipline.
yeah, discipline,
Building
mental toughness. Because when things get hard, people tend to give up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like we've all been there. Like we've all given up something because it got too hard.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like a normal thing because like we as humans we tend to like to be comfortable.
Yeah. We like the easier
Yeah, the easier route.
And I think
Human
that's how
nature,
people get complacent
Yeah,
in life.
exactly.
Right? Because you're like, oh, well, everything's good. Everything's, you know better. And, you don't really do anything to progress because that's going to take more work. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Some
Yes.
people are completely content with where they are, but I think for those of us that really want to get somewhere, we have to understand how motivation works, but how motivation works for you. It's not going to work for me the way it does for you,
Exactly.
or how it does for you. It's going to be a little bit
Yeah.
different.
Everything is subjective, I think.
Yeah.
I think so too, because my opinion on what JERiCK said about his discipline is different from what mine is as well.
Yeah. So what was your goal?
For me, so I used to, like, when New Year's, like a long time ago, it's like when New Year's would come around, I would set up like little goals, like, oh, I'm gonna make this money and this
Right,
and that,
right.
blah blah blah. But as time went on, I realized the bigger picture is my mental health.
Yeah.
And so last year, my what is it called? The
New Year's
my
resolution.
New Year's resolution was to go out. It wasn't anything big, but I think it's still big in my head.
Yeah.
And it's still going on to this year, which is still my ongoing
Right.
New Year's resolution. But what it is to get rejected multiple times, as many times as I can.
Really?
Because I am a person who don't take rejection
Really?
fairly well. It doesn't matter if it's getting rejected by a girl, getting rejected at work for some like
maybe a job
promotion, or
Does-
getting chosen as second. You know what I mean? So
Does critique fall into that? Like
Yeah.
criticism?
I think so too, because what it is, like, when somebody says no to me, I take it pretty personal. Not, I wouldn't say personal, but more so harsh on myself.
I see.
Because when that happens to me, I tend to bring myself down, and next thing you know, I'm beating myself up. And by allowing me to get rejected multiple times, it allows me to get a little bit numb to the fact, and it lets me like brush it off
Right.
better, so that way it doesn't affect my mental health as much as it used to. I would say it's I guess you could say I know it's still ongoing, but I'd say I'm doing pretty good in it.
Okay.
Little by little, it's an ongoing thing.
Now, let me ask you this, because you said the goal was to experience as many rejections as
Yes.
possible. So how do you know, like, how can you say that you're going to experience the rejection? Because I feel like that's almost a
Do you
double,
put yourself in that
well, no, like a
situation?
double-edged sword, because now you have this idea that you want to go through the experience.
Yeah.
And then you start falling into that whole, your word is powerful, your thoughts are powerful. And then what if you're attracting that?
I mean, here's the thing. So I think it is a double-edged sword. So I don't necessarily go out of my
search
way
for,
and
like,
search for the rejection.
Reject me.
But like, but I go out there and just go. Let's say, for example, it's like that movie, The Yes Man. So with Jim Carrey, so
Yeah.
he goes out and whatever comes his way, he just accepts it and moves on.
Got it.
So for me, as an example, I'd go like the Reno Fashion Show. So I wasn't necessarily chosen to begin with to do that fashion show.
Okay.
I was second pick, and it took them about at least 2 weeks to know that to call me.
Oh,
And I was like, man, should I even do this shit?
Right.
Because it's like I don't take second shit, you know.
Yeah.
And then it kind of bogged me down that like I was just second chosen, you know. But I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and just fuck it
Right.
up. And then I went in, and through that, I actually experienced a different scenario where I was able to network and meet new people
There you
who
go.
became friends.
Right.
And it was just an ongoing thing. I feel like if you're searching to better your mental health in that sense, it brings you a different answer.
Right. Right.
But I keep searching to get rejected. But
Maybe instead of looking for rejection, maybe what you need to really think about is
how do you,
why do you need validation from people?
or how do you navigate rejection? Right. Because I feel
Yeah.
like searching for it is very, like you're on a mission. You got your map and you're like,
Well, it's
here's rejection.
it's kind of like what I said earlier. It's like there's two sides to it. So you could either fall but also at the same time, if you get a yes,
Yeah.
then that's a good thing. It
Yeah.
it allows me to not fear getting rejected, so that way it opens up more doors and opportunities for me to dive into, which it did actually.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I met a lot of cool people, and life has changed after that.
Right.
And I'm gonna keep doing that because it allowed me to grow mentally.
Right. So let me ask then, what did you do to prepare yourself or, essentially for those rejections, and how did you withstand, month after month, right? Kind of going through those experiences. Like what kept you going?
Honestly, I don't know. It just had.
I mean,
sometimes
he has to
you just gotta dive into it, because a lot of people they're like, it's like because for me, I'm fearful of it in a sense, and so by not being fearful of it, it allowed me to live.
I see what you mean.
And I didn't want to. I think what it was just I just didn't want to live.
To care that much.
Yeah, to care that much and live the way I was living, because
Okay.
I felt like I was dying on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see.
And because of that, I didn't go out much. I didn't meet people. I didn't even talk to JERiCK much, or you or anybody. As I sheltered myself from the world. That it made me different.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't see myself becoming that way. But
then that's.
But when you put yourself in that position, you become something you don't even know that's happening to you. Until I started, putting myself out there for the rejections, then my life started growing, and I started seeing a color again back in my life.
Nice.
So
I like
that's
that.
why I feel like this is sustainable for me to keep doing this, because if I don't, if you're not, like the saying goes, if you're not moving, you're dying.
Right.
So if you're not trying to prove to improve yourself, you're dying. And I'm all about self growth, always.
Right.
Because without self growth, you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
You'll be somebody at home just chilling, doing nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely. What about you? I feel like we strayed from your resolution. We don't know what the outcome was.
What? Me losing weight?
Oh yeah, you had your short term.
Yeah.
So now, if you were to approach it, would you do anything different?
I guess make it a more sustainable lifestyle, because the way I did it definitely wasn't sustainable. Because
What'd
it was
you
very
do?
extreme.
I see.
Like I went to the gym like 6 times a week. I was
my God.
barely eating.
See, and I think that's another important thing.
Like I was eating like less than 1,000 calories a day.
Realistic goals.
Yeah, so
everybody.
like that wasn't definitely not sustainable in the long term. It was very like I need quick results, so it was I guess kind of toxic in a way, but like hey, I still did it.
I remember doing that with you, and I remember the progress that we had, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But just as you said, it was not sustainable.
Yeah, definitely not in the long term.
I mean, even for me, when I was doing it with you, because I got results of my own as well, like big results. And the shit that I was doing as well was definitely not sustainable. Like I was motivated and things were pushing me, but mentally on the inside, I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit. Everything started tasting like shit.
Yeah, because it was such a short-term goal that like I was so set in it to like accomplishing it, so it didn't seem difficult, because like I knew what I had to do to get in order to like reach that goal, and then I just had to do that for 3 months, and that's
but
it.
it was a little harmful to you.
I would say,
You know
at
what
least
I mean?
I would say in the long term,
Yeah.
because like I was like basically starving myself.
Yeah. Know what that's like.
So what
But
would
hey,
you...
I looked good for.
You did.
But I went to the
Was that the
Philippines.
time when we were like jogging and stuff together?
Probably. Probably.
I miss those days. We were going to like Planet Fitness.
Yeah, we would go to the gym a little bit. Yeah.
Cardio. That's for me.
Dude, I hate cardio. Oh, well.
I like my Peloton.
But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like fitness is not my priority at the moment. So it's like I don't even necessarily think about it.
Right.
Yeah, because I have like other goals in mind.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
How about you? What did you
I
give up on?
Well, shoot. Life. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I have been an avid New Year's resolution girl. Let me tell you. Like I said, I think every year, at least in my adult life,
Yeah.
up until this year. So last year, for instance, I wrote down this whole thing, and it was like what I was going to do and what did I saw myself doing, because I was trying so hard to, I think, force myself spiritually to do that whole manifestation shit. And so I think because of that, the goals that I set were completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
And not only that, I gave myself many goals. So it wasn't like one thing. It was like finances, job,
It's like, I'm going to get my life together.
health. Yeah.
And
And
it's all going to happen in 1 year.
when I think about it, I'm like, bro, I don't think any of that happened. But I will say, I don't think it was meant to happen then. Like, I think my year had to be a different journey, especially the last few months.
Yeah.
But it was just, I wasn't realistic, and I get very impatient, you know, and I think that's been a healing journey all of it in itself. I don't know how the saying goes, but I think the difference this year is, and I guess I could consider it a resolution or, you know, something that I also want to commit to for the long haul, is just giving myself grace, you know, and not being so upset because I can't achieve something, or understanding that things take time. And if it's anything that's going to be harmful for me, that maybe that's not the correct path. Because I've done the same thing. I've done the trying to lose weight, and then I go on these fad diets, or I don't eat, and that's led to a whole
because I think
slew of things.
all of this is like, it's such a short-term mindset too. Like we think that everything is
the instant gratification
so quickly. Like we have this big goals, right? Especially like financially, like, oh, by next year I'm going to be making this much. I'm like, twice as much as I made last year. And like stuff like that doesn't happen, you know, as quickly as you think.
But not only that, is I think people have that expectation, but they're not putting in the work. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's like, you want to lose weight, but you ain't going to the gym. You're not eating right.
This is one of the reasons why I'm considering deleting my Instagram, because part of me posting, it's not that it wasn't doing anything, but I feel like me posting on Instagram on almost daily, felt like I was doing the work.
Oh, I see what you mean. Just enough.
Like, because it just gave me that, like, is it dopamine?
Yeah, the rush.
The rush, adrenaline. Right? Where like,
the gratification.
I did my work for the day because I posted something on Instagram.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, like, depending on what your goal is. Like, if you have a business that relies on Instagram, then, obviously do that.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I don't think Instagram is really the platform.
Right.
For, at least for me, personally. Right. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, because like it just felt like me posting stories or me posting even the clips. Like obviously it did something, right? Like, like my intention was like, oh, hopefully it's like somebody sees this and it will change their mind or whatever.
Right.
I was very intentional about that. But I don't know, like it just felt like it's
like a false sense of gratification.
Yeah.
Like you did your thing, you posted, and you felt like, you know, oh, I'm good. Shit.
Yeah, like, and now I can like sit and relax.
Yeah.
And it's obviously rest is important too. But yeah, I just like feel like I just need, like I said before, like I have a bigger goal this year. I guess that's kind of like a New Year's resolution. So like it needs a different version of me, because I've been doing the same things over and over for the last few years. And, like I can't be expecting the same results, you know,
or have different
like
results.
Same thing. Like it got me to where I am today, which is I'm very grateful for. But now I have bigger things in mind, and like I don't think like being on Instagram is part of that. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna delete my account, obviously, but I just need to not have that on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it's a big distraction. I've done a lot of not a lot, but I've done a few social media breaks, and let me tell you, my productivity way up.
Yeah, because
I'm like, man, I'm really wasting my life.
because it really, I mean, like I get what your thing too. Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of good stuff on social media. Like, I see motivation stuff in there, and then you get ideas, like creative ideas in there too. Like,
Right.
there's all sorts of benefits to be on Instagram,
But there's also
but there's
Equal
also
negative.
I think like the ratio is just way too off for me. Like the benefits is just not weighing the same
Yeah.
amount as the toxicity, I guess.
Or even the platform's expectation, like what you have
Yeah.
to do and what you have to put into just to be on someone's feed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I just
it
need
can
to
be
like
discouraging.
hone in on like one thing at a time too,
Yeah.
because I've been juggling so many things at the same time, and I think that's what was kind of a I wouldn't say a downfall, but I guess I'm just not working as smart as I need to be.
Yeah. And you kind of have to figure out where your energy needs to go.
Yeah, because if I have 100% energy, like I can only dedicate
Yeah.
certain amounts to
Yeah.
things,
You can't
right?
have 500%.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like
that's-
as much as I want
That's
to do
another
that.
thing
Yeah.
for like lack of motivation or why it's so challenging is because you end up burning out.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do all of these things. You're like, no, you're not. 'Cause you're going to be tired. You're going to be pissed. You're going to stop what you're doing. And yeah, exactly that. And I think when you're doing so much, because I've also experienced that too, you kind of get lost,
Yeah.
and then you don't do anything.
you get lost, and then you also stop living for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I also want to have time to like enjoy myself
Yeah,
too.
you need your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just need time for
It's like, we have 24 hours in a day. Like, what am I dedicating my time to? Like, if
Yeah.
I take out that hour of Instagram,
distractions.
that's gonna add up in the long term too.
Yeah.
Oh no, it does. I have that app on my
I don't-
phone
'cause
where
I
it
don't-
does the screen time. Oh.
Because I haven't checked my screen time yet. Like, I don't know how I don't really know how much time I really spent on it. Probably more than an hour.
See, and that's another thing too is having distractions, and it doesn't even have to be social media.
Yeah.
But having any type of distraction also kind of hinders your motivation a little bit. Because I'd be doing that. I get sucked in. But then now I'm like trying to be active on social media, and I'm just not very good at it. So it takes me a long time.
It's hard because you're doing the business on your social media, but yet you
Yeah.
get distracted with other things that's
Yeah.
on social media as well. So it's a
Yeah.
You think it's
hard
benefit you to be more on social media? Because I know you've been posting a lot.
Yeah,
recently.
I think so, just to also help me, like help break me out of my shell. You know what I mean?
Not
Because
necessarily like promoting your
yeah,
business, but
I'm very quiet, and I don't want to stick myself to I got to do this every day. But it's like if I have something meaningful, I'm gonna put it out. Like
Yeah.
the video I put out today, I have been waiting to do it for months. And I think it would have helped me if I'd done it sooner. But then again, I'm not very good at it. So I was up until 3 a.m.
That's the thing with creating content though, is because yeah, it is frustrating right now because it's new and there's a lot of I guess learning curve.
Yeah,
So like
that's why it's a job for people.
yeah, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And that's why like for me it was like I could create content. Like it's, I guess I wouldn't say easy, but like I got so used to it that it's become kind of like a second nature, I guess.
I see.
And then it wasn't necessarily like challenging enough after a while. And
Oh, so you got complacent.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have like evolved and like tried other things too, but like I don't know, like maybe Instagram is just not. At least at the moment, it's not a priority for me.
And honestly, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think we're so conditioned to think this is the only way to get somewhere
no, absolutely not.
that we feel almost forced or obligated to.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I'll post when I want. I'm not going to follow a strategy.
Yeah.
Just, it has to be intentional. And I think that's the most important thing,
yes.
especially for me. So,
Kill.
all right. You want to get into some strategies for long-term motivation?
Yeah, let's do it.
Actually.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Let's
Go
try
ahead.
something different. So you're gonna talk about this, but how about we share our strategies first, and then go back into it.
Okay.
How's about that?
Oh, is there a strategy in there or?
Yeah, I just,
Okay, I
me
guess
and my
we can go.
research.
'Cause I'm kind of curious what everybody's strategy is here, like,
Right.
personally.
All right. Well, since it was your idea, you start it.
He's like, dang it, I thought I had more time.
You want to do this? Jack and point. It's kidding. Anyways, so, okay, so my strategy to keep motivated, honestly, is just to be happy with what you're doing, in a sense. Feel what you're doing and understand what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you're happy and you understand what you're doing, then you're more motivated to keep doing what you're doing. Let's say, for example, if you enjoy running and you enjoy it, and it doesn't become a job, in a sense,
Yeah.
or a chore,
Becomes a habit.
it becomes a habit, and you keep doing it, and you just keep doing it. For me, it's like you try to see the light that it brings you
Right.
versus the sadness that it brings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, for example, for me with all the rejection shit, it's like I've seen more positivity in it within my domain,
Right.
versus seeing all kinds of negativity, and it's changed me, and it makes me want to keep doing it, so that way to see where it would take me further.
Right.
And like, it's like, for example, when I was working out, it's like when you, like what you said earlier, is when you get burnt out, it's like when I used to work out all the time, and I was just, at first it was cool,
Right.
it was fun, and then next thing you know, I was like, I started pushing myself harder and harder, and then next thing you know, I was like, fuck, I hate this shit.
Yeah.
And then you just realize how much you hate it,
Yeah.
and then you kind of like get off. And so my thing is just, don't push yourself too hard
Right.
when things get rough. Take a step back and then come back at it again.
Yeah.
You don't have to always
Sure
be
can.
pushing yourself 100%. If you're having fun with it, that's what matters, and you're enjoying the cruise. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that's what what keeps me motivated,
Yeah.
aside from the fact that I look on Instagram for motivation and
That's
shit.
fine too.
But
That's your process.
Instagram.
it's like that's
On and off.
Yeah, because I feel like it helps with my process too for
Right.
the Instagram. That's why I can't delete it for myself, at least for now, because I'm not doing any like type of media platform.
Right.
on it.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
that's what I do to keep
I do
motivated.
like that. I like the idea of doing things to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love the process.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do things in a long term, like you gotta enjoy it. You gotta love it, because otherwise, what the fuck's the point? You know?
Exactly.
Like if
Find
you
your
all had a
why.
choice of not having jobs, we wouldn't have jobs
Hell no.
because nobody.
Some people do really enjoy that
I mean,
work. I think
Because
there are.
I mean, there are some people that enjoy their
Yeah.
jobs, and that's awesome. But for, I would say, majority of people,
Especially
it's
the
like a
newer
means to an end. You know, like they're just there because they need money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes. We have to
it's-
survive.
Yeah, and like for me, like the goals that I have in mind, like I always have an intention, like I need to like this, or I need
Right.
to love this, you know? Like I need to have enjoyment in doing this. Otherwise, why would I could have just like kept my job and like
Yeah.
lived the same life, you know what I mean? Like be miserable.
No fulfillment.
Exactly. Like, why would I waste all that away in order to pursue this one thing if I'm gonna be miserable in this? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Absolutely.
so like, if you have a goal in mind, like, you better make sure that you enjoy it, and like you just gotta enjoy the process, and also like enjoy the small wins.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think instead of thinking of it as reaching that big goal, because we all have big goals.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
But what if you think about it in like a smaller goals?
Yeah. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, like
Right?
just build one piece at a time instead, because like sometimes it can get overwhelming
Yeah.
because you're so far away from reaching that big goal. And like if you just like focus on like little things, like, oh, if I'm making this video, like I've accomplished that goal, you know?
Right,
Like
right.
it's part of the, like you said, a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like if you have a big puzzle, like just piece by piece, it's gonna help you stay motivated because you know you've done something. You've actually accomplished a little goal.
Right.
And that will give you enough energy to move on to like the next step.
Right.
And yeah, just always kind of focus on the small wins, I guess. That's
And
what I would say.
I feel like to piggyback off what you had just said is it's also good to check in and self-reflect, because I think sometimes people lose motivation because they're not seeing the progress. Right. And so I think that's where the small wins come into play, because if you can check off these little boxes, you're like, okay, I didn't completely not do anything.
Because if you think about it, like, just let's say you go to the gym every day for that 1 week, right? You're not going to see big results.
Yeah.
But there
Like
is
water weight.
small results in there.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't see it like physically. Like you might feel it like, oh, you might have more energy or whatever. But like
Daily you're working on
because like when you think like, oh, if I'm losing 30 pounds, if I don't not there yet, like it's so hard sometimes. So like,
discouraging.
yeah, it could be discouraging. So like if you just like, oh, if I'm losing 1 pound this week, like, hey, that's 1 pound. That's
Exactly.
small wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also want to go back into the thing that you said about discouragement as well. It's like I say, because this is about goals, right? So of course there is going to be times where you fail at your goal, and I don't think anybody should take any of those like little small losses as a downfall. Because like if you do, then that's when it starts becoming more of a negative thing.
Right.
And that's when people start losing the motivation to keep doing, because like you said earlier, it's like when people see themselves in the mirror and they don't see results, it's not as if like other people are not noticing the results. Because let's say, for example, you're doing the thing every day, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're so close to it. Like you can't.
It's like you going in front of the mirror, checking every single damn day to see if there's any results. You are never gonna ever see the results
You're not gonna see the
because
inch.
you see the progress like slowly. But whereas if somebody like were to see you from a distance, let's say from a third person view, you see them 1 week, right? And then the next week, they like look at you. Then they're like, "Oh shit, have you lost weight?" You know what I mean? But you don't feel it. But it's the small progress that you put in that will keep you going
That entire week.
and I think that's I think don't get pretty much the message there is don't get discouraged in the small losses that you think you're doing, because it's never a small loss as long as you're doing
it's
the
even
thing.
a loss at all. Like I think it's like small wins at a time, right?
Yes.
But I think like we think that not hitting the big goal is a loss, but it's not really. Like it's just like you're just at this very moment at this progress,
Right.
Like maybe like if there's the experience bar, like you're just right here instead of like hitting this, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like the saying is like, I don't know if this is right, but shoot for the stars but land on the moon type of deal.
Yeah.
I think it's like
feel that.
even if you're going up the ladder and you don't hit that thing, you may land on something that it may even benefit you even more.
Like
Not
came
everybody
across your dream.
could hit that, go to the stars, but at least you tried and you are now part of something different.
Right.
Yeah, because I think every little thing that you do too, even the things that you're giving up on, that's still kind of a part of like the experience and who you are today too.
Yeah.
So me going ham at the gym for 3 months, that helped me learn the discipline side of things.
Yes.
And then it kind of like, I kind of translated it to other things too. Like, because like I realized during that time that hard work pays off.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, like if I just work hard, like you get results. Like that was it. Like that was the thing that I learned going to the gym. Even though like I don't necessarily go to the gym anymore, but
You apply that to other things. that you do.
exactly. Like if I just work hard, then I could accomplish, goals.
So technically, there is never a loss. There's
like,
always
I don't think there's
always a
really,
win because
like,
you're learning.
We just think that it's a loss because we didn't necessarily hit the goal.
Yeah.
But hey, if you got to like 20% of 100%, hey, you're still at the
got
20%
somewhere.
instead of the 0.
Yep, that's true. You made it.
Yeah.
You walked.
What
And
do you
I-
have on that list? Or-
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important also because I'm very much in the mindset right now where I'm trying to look at things that are considered negative in a more open or positive light.
Yeah.
And so when I hear you talking about the losses, I feel like that's almost an opportunity to like check on your why.
Yes.
Right? Because what caused this shift in behavior
Yes.
or action? You know what I mean? And sometimes things change all the time, right? Setbacks happen, your likes or you have different interests over time, you know what I mean? And because your goals take so long and life happens in between that, maybe it's just time to kind of pivot or just rethink the strategy.
Yeah.
You know, because maybe what was working then isn't working now. And if you still really want to get to that point, you're going to find a way to get there. You know, you're not just going to give up. But I think it's a good opportunity to just reflect, you know, because there had to have been something that caused that.
Yeah, because like I pivoted a lot in my life. Like I've tried so many different things that I don't necessarily do anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess someone looking at it, you could say like, oh, he gave up on it. Which, yeah, that's like an argument right there. Like I gave up on it and I stopped doing it. But I still have those skills that I've learned during that time by doing the vlogging, the photography, like the video stuff, even though I don't necessarily do much of it anymore. But now I have those skills that requires for me to do, like, I guess I'm just going to say my goal right now is like YouTube full time. And like doing those things has taught me a lot. So I'm not, just because I just somewhat started on YouTube doesn't mean like I'm new.
Right.
New, because like I've already developed so many skills that it's just like, I guess this is not like something new for me, you know? So, yeah.
Nice.
I think also because we're on the subject of motivation, I also want to add, because I forgot to add this on earlier when I was talking, it's like I think it's also important to surround yourself with people
Oh yeah.
who have the same interests, who will uplift you when you're down and when you need to, you know, because we will always be our worst critic. We'll always beat our own selves up.
Right.
But if we have somebody that's always going to be uplifting us, who's going to help us when we're down, it's a very it's an important thing.
Right.
Because I know for me, it's like I find myself in a dark place all the time. But it's certain people that helps me get back up on my feet. You know, the encouraging talks, this podcast.
Yeah.
It helps me a lot. It just and the people that, like the random people that I've come across who just believes in me. It's crazy to think, but a lot of the people that I get a lot of motivation from are the people who never even met me before, or who barely even met me.
Right.
And they believe in me because they see something in me.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's like that's also important for those type of encouragement. Just surround yourself with like people who have the same mindset, who have discipline, who have who wants to see you succeed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's
Important.
a lot of people out there who don't want to see you succeed. A lot of haters. You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
It's like when you're doing something good for yourself, and they see that happening to you, those haters, they're like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? And they just want to bring you back down. That's why I stopped hanging with a lot of people.
Yeah.
My circle of friends have become very, very tight. And it's crazy to think that I used to call some people friends when in reality, those people were only trying to bring me down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
At least
also I wanted to add.
Nice. All right. So before we go on the tips, though, do I get to tell what my motivation is?
Yes.
Yeah, go
yes.
I don't have one. I'm just kidding. No, I think honestly, since we're on the new year, but just going into this new evolution of myself is really just to feel balanced.
Yes.
Right. And so my motivation is to be in this current state of calm, because I feel like I'm always in fight or flight. And that's what really brought me down in the past years. So I'm working very hard to shift my mindset and again give myself grace and then allow myself to just check in. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's important for me to always understand my purpose. Right. And so if I were to break that down into like photography, for instance, I know where I want to get to. But I think the difference that I have this year from last year, the year before, is I felt like I wasn't good enough or I wasn't doing enough or I didn't have the right business. But I think now the way I see it is all those things didn't happen because it's pushing me towards what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of helped me, even though it broke me in certain aspects.
It's like when we think, what's that saying? Like, it's just like a no from the universe. It's just that redirection.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, hey, you're not. You're not listening. So let me do that for you.
You're not aligned. So like, let me do this for you. You know.
Absolutely. And so I think one thing for me is just being realistic. Like I gotta stop thinking that something's going to happen overnight, or I'm going to become viral if I do a post, or if I have a weight loss goal that it's healthy to lose 5 pounds every week, you know? And I think if I just, again, be calm, find balance, I will definitely have a better
I think
year.
You have to think about it as a lifestyle. Because if you want something sustainable, like it has to be fit in your life. Because like, yes, you can go hard really fast, but I don't think that's going to be sustainable for everybody. Like, I don't think anybody can really, because the faster you burn, the faster you burn out, basically. So like you have to think about your goals as like your lifestyle. So whatever that is, that has to fit your, like, the way you live your life.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, I don't think it's going to be sustainable.
Absolutely. Can I say one thing before I read this off?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I had a moment today. I was helping Anthony put up the studio sign, and I was up on the ladder, and I have had and sometimes still have like horrible anxiety, and I could never climb a ladder. Like my knees would shake and break, and even if he held me and was behind me, I couldn't do it. I was a wreck. But anyways, I was on the ladder, like on the top tier, and I was like helping screw some stuff in, and I just looked at him and I was like, you know what? I really need to think and pause when I have these moments, because sometimes I think I'm not progressing enough when it comes to my mental health journey. But then I have these small moments like this where I'm like, holy shit.
Like you're not scared
like
anymore.
Last year, I couldn't do that. This year, I can. Even driving on the freeway, I could never drive next to the barrier. I'd be scared as shit. Like if I had to be next to the barrier, I'd have like panic attacks. I'd find any way to get to the other side. And now I'm like, this is my favorite lane.
It's like fast lane, bro.
Like how debilitating a lot of that stuff can be. And
It is.
And I just hope and encourage people to acknowledge that part, you know?
Yeah,
and
it's you getting over your fear. And that's a big thing about the motivation is getting over the fear of that's why I do the thing that I do, because getting over the fear of anything, you will see that there is something on the other side that's always going to be better.
Yep, absolutely. All right, you ready to close it out?
Yes.
Okay, so first one is setting the foundation. So purpose-driven goals, which I feel like we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And I think you spoke about it too, is you got to find your why.
Yeah.
Right? And that's actually one of the first thing that it lists is knowing your why and then breaking it down and doing the small steps, like actionable small steps to get to your bigger goal.
Yes.
Which I feel like everything we've talked about in like the month somehow ties in together.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, I feel like it's because like we're actually doing the things that we're talking about here too, which is good.
We're doing the
because
thing.
No,
we're not just
absolutely.
like preaching it.
Right.
Like we're actually doing the things that we're actually talking about, which is
and
good.
I think that's a win too, because sometimes you may not think you're doing things right, and then you vocalize it and you're like, oh shit, I ain't doing too bad.
It's like, hey, my life's good.
This next one, I think everybody spoke on it, and that's celebrating small wins.
Yeah.
So your
that's
micro
really important
successes.
because like those are like the gas in your vehicle, you know,
that's
because
a good
like
way.
because there are days there's gonna be ups and downs, and then the downs are gonna be like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Right.
Yep.
I give up.
Yeah.
But then you hit like that little small win or whatever, and then you're like, oh, okay, like I have enough gas to like push through the
Gives
next
you the
thing.
extra
Motivation.
The word of the podcast.
Motivation for the motivation.
This one, it kind of, you brought up, so it's building resilience, right? So embracing your setbacks.
Yes.
Reframing your failure as an opportunity to learn. And then this one I really like, it's developing a growth mindset. So it's using examples or finding examples in your life where even though you didn't get there, and you talked about it, even if you don't get to 100%, but you did 20%, you should still acknowledge that you got to that 20% because you could have just done nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You could have been at 0 and then yeah.
Absolutely. This one we've talked about is creating routines. So discussing habits. And I really like how both of you, I feel like you always go back to building habits and talking about things being a lifestyle. And that's something that I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
But you're right. You have to find happiness in what you're doing or what your goals are, because that's what's going to help you keep going.
Yeah.
And as far as the routine, it's like, if you like doing it, you're just going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
And then it becomes like a...
It becomes you.
It becomes your...
Yeah, it
becomes your stretching.
Exactly. It becomes like who you are and what you do. It's like,
Very nice. Okay, and so the last few is accountability. So highlighting the value of the people around you, right? So understanding who your circle is, right? Finding ways to give you motivation when you don't have it, right? Which is what you talked about. You said you use Instagram. Sometimes I do the same too. It's like I just need to see somebody else.
Yeah, I mean,
go through that.
Any type of content can be an inspiration,
right? But accountability, I really like, and that's why I do so well with partners, because I need a buddy. I just feel really good when it's somebody else.
It's like, it's like going to the gym. You look, sometimes having a gym buddy is like can help you
progress. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And I feel for me, it's just now, and maybe it's not that healthy, but I feel like I'm obligated to do it because I don't want to let them down.
To what?
Like to do it, which is, I guess, good and bad.
You're kind of like pushing yourself because you don't want to look like an inferior person to this person.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
See, I do that with my husband too, because I'm like, well, if he's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. It's like, no. That's not how accountability works.
That's a reverse accountability. If he's not doing it, then I'm not doing it.
I'm going to not do it harder.
Do not. And then the last one, or the last couple, is finding joy.
Yes.
Yeah,
you talked about that.
I think that's one of the most important part of that.
Yeah. Making the journey fun.
Yeah, because
like I said, it's different for everybody.
Because like, if you're not having fun, then what the fuck?
Not a cookie cutter process.
Oh, absolutely.
And the last one is visual reminders, which I never thought of. So it talks about vision boards, affirmations, or finding like an app or something that helps you track progress, which I didn't even know existed.
Oh, like an actual, like, I guess, data.
Vision.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I guess that could work also for like the health piece, right? Like there's MyFitness.
Yeah, like you lost this many pounds.
Yeah, or to tell you, your progression.
Like if you're like social media, whatever, like, oh, I need this many followers and this many likes. Yeah.
Nah.
I want to go back to the visual reminders in a sense. So it's kind of funny. I don't want to go back to the Instagram thing, but that's actually the reason why I use my Instagram is because it gives me visual reminders, not just... a vision board is great too, but it also I think for me, quotes hit a lot deep for me.
Right.
So I use the quotes that I always see because it's always quotes and quotes that keeps me moving even further, because some words cut deep.
Yeah.
And some will bury themselves within your soul so hard that you will resonate with the words that are said.
Yeah.
And so that's what I use my Instagram for.
Nice. And that's okay. No one's judging you. No one's judging you. What is that thing right now? It's like we hear, we listen, and we don't judge.
Yes.
Wait, is that a saying?
I mean,
it's like
you don't want to get canceled.
It's a trend right now. I know.
Is that
we listen and we don't judge.
Is that the trend right now?
Yeah.
I mean,
peace to everybody.
Fair enough.
All these trends can't keep up. But yeah, so I think we're all on a pretty good track. I mean, whether it's a New Year's resolution.
Let's come back next
Yeah,
year and we'll see where we're at.
I think I want to add a little bit more to this subject though too. I think because everybody's doing a New Year's resolution thing right now, I just want to say is like a New Year's resolution is not where you it's like I don't think it should have to start. A goal shouldn't have to start
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
January 1st.
It can be any time.
I feel like if you feel like you want to do something, start doing it the very second that you think that you
Yeah.
want to do it. Don't give yourself like, you know, because I hear this a lot of times. It's like people's like, oh, I'm going to wait till, it's like, what? It's like November. No, I'm going to wait till January 1st to get my
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah ready and this and that, blah, blah. I think if you are motivated enough to do the
Yeah,
thing that
you
you want to
should do
do,
it
I think you
now.
should just do it.
Because now
Go for
that's months, weeks
Yeah.
past that you haven't progressed because you're just waiting.
Yeah, because you're waiting. What are you waiting for? You know what I mean? Just fucking get up
Yeah.
and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like-
at that point, you might as well admit that you're just not ready for it.
Yeah.
You're not ready for the change or
True.
the commitment.
Yes. So I think what I'm trying to say is like stop fucking with the resolutions and just do it.
Any day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
I mean,
Thursday.
don't get me wrong. Resolutions
Friday,
is
Saturday.
don't get me wrong. Resolutions is a great way to do goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But then,
But
you
I
know,
think-
if you're that type of person that likes New Year's resolution,
Oh, yeah.
that
Go for it,
actually
go for it.
sticks to
Yeah.
it, hey, fuck it, go
We
for it,
listen
dude.
and we don't judge. We're just
No
jealous.
judgment here.
But yeah, just do the thing. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
We're doing
think-
the thing.
I think.
Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Shia LaBeouf, if you watch.
Have you seen that meme?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Makes
But
me
yeah.
sad because I actually liked Shia LaBeouf for a little minute and then he went cuckoo. I don't think he went
he's
cuckoo,
actually-
Nah, I
but
don't think he's that
Intelligent, though.
crazy.
I think
Freaking, I think the fame just kind of broke him down a little
Yeah.
bit.
yeah, it's rough being in their position, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm assuming so.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week.
Happy New Year.
Peace.